To discuss what may happen this week are the Conservative MP for Reigate, Crispin Blunt, the Labour MP and former Shadow Minister Rushanara Ali, and the Conservative MP Sir Geoffrey Clifton-Brown. Welcome to you all. How do you feel about this idea of Parliament taking control, indicative votes, bearing in mind that at best there are 18 days to go until we would leave the European Union without a deal?
We've been here before, haven't we, on these indicative votes on the House of Lords, and it actually led nowhere. What we need is a firm proposition. It's either Theresa May's deal or it's a no deal, and let everybody decide. It's time the Prime Minister actually took a decisive action in this whole matter instead of just letting it drift. And my feel is if it drifts, we'll fight European elections, we'll then face a long extension, we'll end up by never leaving.
So de facto that would mean bringing back at the earliest opportunity the meaningful vote and seeing if she can win it.
Well, the rumours are that it's going to be brought back tomorrow, and I would bring it back in the context that it's either that deal or no deal.
Sure.
Well, we're just going round in circles with the government and Theresa May constantly ignoring Parliament, ignoring the public, and frankly, she's going to run down the clock again. She's done it for months, and we don't trust her anymore. Nobody does, in fact, in the country. What we need is a series of indicative votes for Parliament to express its will, which she has prevented us from doing. She's not going to get this deal through. She's failed twice,
yeah,
and it's ridiculous that she's continuing this this approach, because it's making a mockery of this country to the rest of Europe and the rest of the world. And this government is totally failing, and they need to get the message. Parliament has voted her deal down, and she cannot carry on threatening us, because that is not in the interest. It's not in the interest of the country for her to carry on like this. Frankly, it's a total disgrace the way Theresa May and her government are behaving.
But the problem is she can go on doing it. I mean, how does the process work of taking back control? I mean, supposing that the meaningful vote is lost again, the Speaker says she can't bring it back a fourth time. Indicative votes aren't going to make any difference. We're going to leave without a deal on the 12th.
Well, Parliament does need to take control, because she has lost control. She's lost control alone.
How does it do it
there'll be a motion
Constitution
for MPs, and I appeal to MPs who do not want us to crash out, who want the best for the country across different parties, to vote for Parliament to be able to seize control in order to get those series of indicative votes, because the government has denied us that opportunity. And then Theresa May goes on national television, attacks members of Parliament. We are elected representatives. We have mandates, and she attacks us while people are threatening us and our lives. This is unacceptable. This is no way to run a country, and she has proven to be a total disgrace, and people are horrified by her behaviour.
Do you think MPs can step in and stop this?
Well, plainly not, unless the Prime Minister allows it to happen. And she's now got so close to the wire that as the head of the government, Prime Minister, the Queen's First Minister, she possesses now huge authority, given there frankly isn't enough time for Parliament to override the executive with legislation, which is the only way it can be overridden. And Geoffrey is entirely right, because there is only one way for her to get her deal agreed, and that is actually to face the Labour Party with the reality that this is a binary choice between her deal and leaving
a deal which you don't back.
Which I don't back.
Yeah.
There's no point her trying to convince me, because I support Brexit. The only way to honour Brexit is either her agreement or no agreement, and I'm personally convinced that leading with no agreement is infinitely better for the United Kingdom than with her deal, which puts the future negotiators of our future relationship with the European Union under a cosh which I think is unacceptable, quite apart from 39 billion quid going down the Swanee. But those are the reasons why I'm the position that I'm in. But it's the Labour Party who've gone on and on saying that no deal is unacceptable. Right, well, if it's unacceptable and you're going to deliver on the mandate on which you were elected, which was to deliver the decision of 2016 and the decision to give notice under 2017 and the mandate in the manifesto you stole in 2017, is it's a straight choice. Her deal or no deal.
See, we weren't elected on a mandate to crash out.
You were elected on a mandate to deliver Brexit.
Crispin, I didn't interrupt you. Let me finish my point.
Yeah, but that's his
we
point,
weren't elected. We weren't elected to destroy the economy. We weren't elected to crash out, which is what Crispin wants. That is unacceptable.
No,
our constituents
but he's saying you can
that.
stop a crash out,
and our constituents did not vote for a deal. Can you please stop interrupting me? I didn't interrupt you. We did not vote for a deal that's going to make the country worse off. Jobs are going in my constituency already and up and down the country. Theresa May's deal is not one that clarifies what the future relationship is going to be. She continues to threaten us. She continues, and some of her members of Parliament want us to crash out. That is the binary choice she's providing, despite losing twice. That is not acceptable. That is not what the people voted for. What the Leave campaign, can you stop interrupting
me,
please?
Talking and talking.
What the Leave campaign claimed is that we would have frictionless trade, there would be no damage to our economy, crashing out would be damaging, Theresa May's deal would be damaging. There is a consensus in Parliament for staying in the single market and customs union. The government is not giving us the opportunity to vote on those issues.
What I find extraordinary
about people want a public vote.
What I find extraordinary about what Rushanara is saying is the vast majority of her Parliament, the vast majority of her party, your party and our party stood on a manifesto of honouring the people's vote.
You didn't win that election.
None of you won that.
You didn't win.
The combined parties did, and they stood on a manifesto of honouring the vote. And now we've got lots of members of Parliament actually trying to do everything they... I didn't interrupt you. So
you did, actually.
Well,
you did.
Now a vast number of members of Parliament actually want to frustrate the will of the British people, which I find extraordinary.
No, Theresa May is frustrating the whole nation and Parliament, actually.
But I just want to, pick up Crispin Blunt's point. I mean, if it comes to it, and it's her deal or no deal, which Crispin Blunt wants, I mean, you are going to have your feet held to the fire, aren't you?
Well, it's a sign of madness to carry on doing the same thing that keeps failing, and she needs to stop and start compromising. She's refused to do that.
Comes to that choice,
no, she is not going to. She's not going to bully us into voting for her deal. So if there's a vote
tomorrow, as Crispin Brown would like, you'd vote against.
The process is to call for a vote for a series of indicative votes, including some of the options that people have explored, as well as a public vote.
So the Labour Party tomorrow overwhelmingly will vote against if it is brought back.
Well, I certainly will be, and I'm pretty clear that my party will be, because this deal doesn't serve the interests of the country.
And she has a strategy, which is to eliminate the wriggle room Rushanara is trying to get into. This should be simply a binary choice. And it's only a binary choice between leaving with her agreement or moving to World Trade Organisation with all the hundreds of supporting agreements already been put in place.
Peter Kyle and Phil Wilson, they've got a binary choice. They say accept the deal, which is leaving, or remain.
Adam, it's so obviously a straightforward scheme to put her deal against Remain in a referendum.
That's the choice.
Well, guess who's the author of that? People who want us to remain in the European Union.
She's your Prime Minister and party leader.
I come back to where I started. I think we are drifting towards Remain. We're going to fight these European elections. If we fight the European elections 3 years on after the referendum result, we'll end up by never leaving.
But how do we drift towards Remain if her deal is voted down?
If her deal was voted down, that would be if her deal was voted for, which is what all members of the Labour Party want. If they don't want a no deal, they should vote for her deal.
But how do you think we're drifting towards Remain?
Because we will fight the European elections. We will get to April the 12th. We will still not have made a decision.
And therefore we'll leave, won't we, without a deal?
No, because what the Europeans have said is if we don't vote for her deal and we get to April the 12th, it then gets extended to May the 22nd. That means we fight European elections. If we fight European elections, we'll end up by never leaving.
That's not my understanding of what they said. But is that what you understand they said?
No, I mean, I think there's a lot of confusion in the Conservative Party, as you can see. They don't know whether they're coming or going. And frankly, what the country needs is clarity, and that is the government has failed to do that. They're bickering, they're infighting, they're tearing themselves apart. Yesterday there was a coup, now there isn't. Frankly, what we need, as I said, is the opportunity for Parliament to take control and have a series of indicative votes to try and understand the will of Parliament. And then, if Theresa May and her party are so confident about her deal, they should put it to a public vote. They should put it to the people, and they can confirm whether they want that deal, which is the deal the Brexit that's been negotiated with the European Union. If they don't have the guts to do that, they shouldn't carry on flogging a dead horse.
I just want to clarify this point. My understanding of what was agreed in Brussels was, if there's no agreement by April the 12th, we're out, right?
That's my understanding.
No, I don't think that is the understanding.
She can't get a deal through. She's meant to go back to the European Union by April the 12th and explain what the plan is.
Yes.
And that means European elections?
Yes, it does. Okay. That's exactly it.
Well, unless of course, enough of the European Union to say fed up at that point.
Yeah.
They say, thank you very much.
Leave.
Or unless she doesn't go back.
But Rushanara, what I can't quite get my head around is why are you so against honouring the result of the British people in a referendum?
Why are you so hell-bent on destroying people's livelihoods? Your party is obsessed with itself. And at the same time, Theresa May's deal is going to make the economy 4% smaller, and people's jobs are going.
Okay.
That's why we cannot support that deal.
That's a clear answer. We're going to have to stop it there. Thank you very, very much indeed. You're watching All Out Politics. Coming up, no collusion with Russia.